Okay, last problem in this section. A vacant rectangular lot is being turned into a community garden measuring 15 meters by 12 meters. Find the length of diagonal of the garden. So, just a really rough picture here. Here's my garden. They tell me it's 12 by 15. And then they want to know what is the length of the diagonal. And so let's call length the diagonal x. And so one of the things we're hoping you bring with you to this class is some basic geometry. And the basic geometry here would be the Pythagorean theorem. Which would give me that 12 squared plus 15 squared equals x squared. So that's 144 plus 125, no, 225 I believe is 15 squared. Yep, 225 equals x squared, or that's x squared equals 369. So I can take the square root of both sides. And then your calculator would tell you that the square root of 369, I do believe, is 13. No, it's not. Okay, I thought it was 13, but it's not. What is 13 squared? Yeah. Square root of 369 is nothing pretty. But x is a length, and so x equal only the positive 369. And then that actually simplifies. I did not plan my space very well. 369 divided by 9 is 9 times 41. And so 3 square root of 41. So there's the length of my diagonal, and that would be meters. Okay, so that one wasn't particularly fancy. On a test, if I'm grading a test, if you didn't figure out how to simplify the square root of 369, I wouldn't care. You know, basic ones, square root of 8, yes, you should know how to simplify that. Square root of 32, you should know how to simplify it. This is getting a little bit beyond what I would expect you to do on a test. The computer, however, is going to want that simplified. So there's that. Letter B. A path of uniform width is to surround the garden as shown in the figure. If the area of the garden and path is 378 square meters, find the width of the path. Okay, so this is a little harder. So let's redraw the picture a little bit. So I've got my garden. And then we're going to put a path around it. The garden is 12 by 15. And then the path, let's do this in a different color. The width of the path is x. So there's the picture. And they ask us how wide should that path be. Now it says the area is 378. And it's the area of the garden and the path, the area of this entire picture. So we think back to the geometry we know, and area is length times width, area of a rectangle at least. So it's a matter of finding the length and the width of this entire rectangle. So when I look at the entire rectangle, and I'm going to look down here, we'll call this the length. It's 15 plus the path on either end. 15 x plus x, or 15 plus 2x. So again, this entire length here is the 15 from the garden itself, then plus the path. The path is x and x, so 15. So it's x plus 15 plus x, or 15 plus 2x. And the same thing for the width. I'm going to move my 12 to the other side. Put the 12 there. Same thing for my vertical distance there, that it's going to be 12, then plus the path. So x plus 12 plus x, or 12 plus 2x. And there's the width, length and width. So my equation here is going to be 15 plus 2x times 12 plus 2x equals 378. There's my equation. You cannot split that up. It's not equal to 0. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to FOIL first. So we got 15 times 12, which is 180. 15 times 2x for 30x. 2x times 12 for 24x. And then, 2x times 2x for 4x squared equals 378. Got some like terms there. So let's combine those like terms. And I'll reorder just a little bit. So I've got 4x squared plus 54x plus 180 is 378. Now I'm going to set it equal to 0. So I'm going to subtract that 378 from both sides. And I get 4x squared plus 54x minus 198 equals 0. I can simplify this a little bit. All terms are divisible by 2. So I can divide by 2. You wouldn't have to do that, but it will make things just a little bit easier. So I get 2x squared plus 27x minus 99 equals 0. And then you have a choice whether you want to try to factor that or do the quadratic formula. I'm not sure. It probably does factor, but I don't see it right off the bat. Yeah, I think I actually do. Let's try it. 2x and x, and let's go with plus 33 minus 3 equals 0. The first guys have to multiply by 2x squared, so I only have one choice there, 2x and x. The last guys have to multiply to be 99, so there aren't a whole lot of choices there. Things that multiply to be 99, 1 and 99, 9 and 11, 3 and 33. So there aren't a whole lot of choices. Then it need to be negative, so one has to be positive, one has to be negative. Then checking, that's going to be 33x. That's going to be negative 6x, which gives me 27x. The factoring checks. Now, like I said, if you don't see the factoring, you can do the quadratic formula. Now it's factored and equal to 0. So 2x plus 33 equals 0. X minus 3 equals 0. 2x equals negative 33. X equals negative 33 halves. Or x equals 3. But let's remember, this was the width of a path That makes no sense. That makes no sense. X is a distance. And so the width of my path is 3 meters. And that problem is done, and this section is done.